Imagine waking up one morning, stretching your arms, stepping out of bed, and instantly collapsing like a squished pancake because your body suddenly feels twice as heavy. You try to stand again, but your legs are like, nope, and you have no idea that the entire Earth grew overnight like a planet taking a suspicious multivitamin. Yeah, this is the kind of morning absolutely nobody is ready for, so let's say Earth just magically doubled in size. Not over millions of years. Not slowly. Not with warning. Just poof. Double the diameter while you were asleep. The weird part, you don't notice anything at first. The trees look normal, the clouds look normal. But your body? Total disaster. Because the first thing that hits us is gravity. And gravity doesn't care about your excuses, your breakfast plans, or your gym membership. When a planet doubles in size, its gravity increases a lot. You're suddenly twice as heavy, and your bones and muscles have to deal with that instantly. So you're lying on your floor, trying to crawl like a tired turtle, wondering if this is a dream or if someone increased the difficulty settings on real life. Outside, things get even stranger. Cars struggle to move. Birds can't stay in the air. Elevators groan like they've been working triple shifts. Even the squirrels, normally the daredevils of nature, freeze mid-jump and reconsider all their life choices. But the trouble isn't just everyday stuff. The entire atmosphere gets pulled closer to the surface. Air pressure rises. Breathing feels slightly harder, like walking up a hill even when you're standing still. Airplanes, they're basically grounded, unless they want to become very expensive metal pancakes. But this is just the beginning. If Earth doubled in diameter, its volume becomes 8 times larger. And that means its mass, the thing that gives it gravity, skyrockets. Oceans get heavier too. Waves hit harder. Tides pull stronger. The entire sea seems to swell, as if the planet is trying to wear its oceans like a tight sweater. Low-lying coastal cities, flooded. Not from storms or tsunamis, but simply because water prefers strong gravity and moves to places it couldn't reach before. Now imagine the atmosphere heating up. Why? Because when air is compressed closer to the ground, it warms up. Not dramatically, but enough to feel like the planet suddenly got a fever. Weather patterns shift, storms get stronger, winds behave unpredictably. It's like the entire climate got put on shuffle mode. Meanwhile, satellites are in total chaos. These tiny machines were orbiting the old Earth, the smaller one, and now the planet underneath them has grown like a balloon. Their orbits become wrong immediately. Many of them slam into the atmosphere and burn up. GPS, glitches, communications, spotty. The internet, slower than a potato running Windows 98. Suddenly, billions of people start panicking, not because the world doubled in size, but because Instagram won't load. But let's go back to the ground, because the scariest part is happening under your feet. The tectonic plates, giant slabs of rock that float on molten Earth, weren't ready for the upgrade. They're suddenly stretched across a bigger planet, like trying to fit the same puzzle pieces onto a much larger table. The plates crack, grind, and shove against each other. Earthquakes start shaking regions that almost never have quakes. Volcanoes wake up like someone set 20 alarms at once. The crust struggles to adjust, and it's not subtle about it. What about day and night? Surprisingly, almost normal. The length of a day doesn't change automatically just because Earth got bigger. But here's the twist. Because Earth's mass increased, the rotation might slow down over time. Days could get slightly longer. Nights could stretch. The planet's spin would feel heavier, like a figure skater spreading their arms to slow down. But here comes the climax, the most shocking effect of all. Earth's orbit around the sun becomes unstable. Our orbit depends on balance, how fast we spin around the sun versus how strong the sun pulls us inward. If Earth suddenly becomes much heavier, the sun pulls harder on it. Too hard. And Earth, now significantly more massive, might begin spiraling inward, slowly, like a heavy marble rolling closer to the center of a giant bowl. Not instantly, not dramatically, but over years, decades, centuries, Earth could drift closer to the sun. Even a small change would heat the planet. Seasons would warp. Summers would stretch longer. Winters would shrink. Plants, animals, humans, everything would scramble to adapt. But there's another twist. Maybe Earth doesn't fall inward. Maybe it stays in orbit, but everything else becomes unstable. The moon's orbit changes, tides change, eclipse cycles break. The moon might even drift away or spiral closer. And trust me, you do not want the moon spiraling closer. That's an entire disaster movie by itself. Eventually, humanity would have to choose, adapt, or collapse. We'd redesign buildings to survive heavier gravity. We'd invent new machines to help us move, lift, and travel. Sports would become slower. Climbing stairs would feel like climbing mountains. But we would learn. Humans always do. The planet might be heavier, harder, and more unpredictable. But life has a strange talent for finding a way to keep going. And after all the chaos, all the shaking, all the crushed satellites, and all the confused birds, the biggest question left would be, how did this even happen? What could double a planet overnight? And that mystery would bother scientists for the rest of time. So if the Earth really did double in size suddenly, life wouldn't end instantly. But everything from breathing to walking to weather to orbits would change in ways we're absolutely not ready for. The world would become harder, heavier, and more extreme. But humans would still find ways to survive in this new super Earth, even if we had to invent stronger tools, smarter tech, and maybe a new generation of super leg muscles. If you enjoyed imagining this nightmare planet version of Earth, make sure to like the video, comment your own wild what-if idea, and subscribe for more science meets chaos fun. And seriously, what do you think caused Earth to grow overnight? Let me know because I have questions.